I have some dear friends from my previous parish that I came to know many years ago before I came here. And the family's an extraordinary family. You know, I really respect them. I respect the way that they live out their faith life. And the father of the family will often tell this story. And he talks about when one of his children was just a young baby and toddler, and they had to put the baby in one of those car seats that you need a PhD to try to figure out how to connect it to your car the first time you're trying it. And he said, you know, as the baby was growing and developing and turned into a toddler, he used to get really annoyed at things. Like if the baby spilled the bottle of grape juice and it stained the car, he really got upset about it. And he would often like holler at the baby or the toddler, and then he would blame his wife. Like, or one time they were putting the car seat in the vehicle and it ripped the seat leather. Well, that sent him into a planet like you couldn't possibly imagine. And again, he blamed the baby, and he hollered, and then he blamed his wife. And all those things happen periodically. But when the toddler was about 4 years old, the toddler contracted a very rare disease and passed away. And if you asked him, he leaves the stain in the car, because every time he sees that grape stain, it reminds him about this precious gift. He never repaired the seat that was torn, because it reminds him of that precious gift. And he said he would gladly today allow that child to take the whole container of grape juice and pour it over his head when he was driving, just to have it child back, to have his family the way he understood it. And he says, the greatest lessons that I've learned in that experience is that when you don't know where to turn, when things like that happen, you can only look up. And then he said, and I also learned that the greatest gift that I could ever give to my children is to respect their mother. I think that's a beautiful story for today, brothers and sisters, that kind of captures the essence of our celebration. Today, we sort of reflect on what I call the mysterious superpowers of motherhood. You know, mothers do incredible things. They're part radar detector, part memory bank. They have that sixth sense. They perform miracles. They can find the missing shoe that your child swears is not in their room. They can hear that snack wrapper opening up from 3 rooms away, and they know without evidence their child is about to do something they ought not to do. You know, we can laugh and we can give thanks to those kinds of experiences because their experiences, love is real. You know, they think about everything. I had a wedding one time a number of years ago, and when the bride was getting out of her car, she ripped her dress. Well, that's a trauma on a bride's wedding day. And leave it to mom to have opened up her handbag, which was like this, and she pulls out a roll of white duct tape. Wow. And I'm like, why would you possibly bring white duct tape to your daughter's wedding? And you know what her answer was? Because I'm a mother and we think about everything. And with that, she takes the duct tape, she opens up the bottom of the dress and tapes it right back together. And no one knew except for me, the bride, the driver, and the mother. You know, mothers live an extraordinary vocation, right? They're always put their children first. I say they'll throw themselves in front of a speeding train for their children, and they often take on the pain of their children. But, today on Mother's Day, we can also recognize that it's also a tender day. And it's not an easy day for everyone, especially for those who miss their mother, for those who miss their child, for those who carry complicated relationships with their mother, for those longing to be a mother, which has been met with silence. And if that's you, you belong here too today. Because what we're really celebrating today is not perfection, but presence. Those people that keep showing up, those people that have that sense of wisdom. And we mean, when we speak about motherhood, more than just biology. We mean those women who have taken on that motherly role that has made a difference in the lives of their families. I'm talking about stepmothers who love with courage, foster mother and adoptive mothers who make room in their heart and in their home for the love of another, for godmothers and aunts and sisters and neighbors who've assumed that motherly role when someone else needed it desperately. Those women who make someone's life safer and steadier and indeed more hopeful. So we celebrate this great day when we recognize that we do two things. We honor and we give respect to those who have that traditional motherly role, and we also remember without glossing over the pain of those who really struggle with this day today. And you know what's best for us to do as a faith community is to bring those women together to the very gift and the presence of our Blessed Mother. It does us wrong to forget her role in our lives, who is indeed the greatest mother of all, the Blessed Virgin Mary. In our church, for the next 2 weeks, you see there's a beautiful display of all the apparitions of the Blessed Mother throughout the world. Many people know that St. Carlo Acutis, the young teenager who was made a saint because of his love and his fascination of the Eucharist, recorded using technology all the Eucharistic miracles in the world. But he also did something else, and many people are not aware of it. He also started to record all of the Marian apparitions of the world, but God called him home before he could bring it to completion. We were able to acquire that display, which will be in our church for only 2 weeks, and then it will move on to another parish. So I encourage you to spend some time, because you'll need some time to go through it. And it's amazing of all the various places throughout the world that our Blessed Mother appeared. Now, if you want my personal opinion, when you go through the cards, it has where she's here in Britannia, and she's here in this country, and this country, and then she's in Italy, and Italy, and Italy, and in Italy, and Italy. I think the Blessed Mother loves Italian food. That's what I think. Right? But today we turn to her, and we thank her. We don't ask her for anything. We thank her for her motherly role in our lives, for the presence that she provides for those who struggle with motherhood today, and that we recognize that we can go to her with any one of our needs. So today I ask you, how do we honor then those women who have assumed these motherly roles in our lives? And I think some practical advice would be worthwhile. If your mother or your mother figure is living, give her a gift that she can really desire. And you know what that is? Your attention and your time. Make that call. Make a visit. And when you do so, offer that special thank you, that gratitude for what she has done that changed your life and how you're forever grateful for it. If your relationship is complicated, then offer what you can offer today. Maybe it's a prayer. Maybe it's a card. Maybe it's the first step toward reconciliation. Maybe it's recognizing that even though she's in the next world, that forgiveness is still a movement of the heart. Honor doesn't mean pretending. Honor means moving beyond the boundaries to give those the respect that there is due. And if today is hard for you because of infertility or for miscarriage or for the loss of a child, please hear this. Your love is real, your sorrow is real, and your place in this community is real, and this Blessed Mother hears your prayer. And for everyone else, help a mother this week in a particular way. You know, motherhood is really hard. I watch the mothers that are trying to bring their children to Little Angels Academy. They have a toddler in this hand, an infant in this hand. They're trying to carry everything, and they're carrying so much weight on their shoulders, and they're just exhausted. Do you ever think of just taking a moment to ask, what can I do to make your life better? Take something off their plate. Do something to make their lives better. Mothers don't really ask for much, but they ask for much for their children. So today, as we give honor to those in those motherly roles, I invite you to come forward before God's holy altar so that we can give you a special blessing to sustain you in your vocation of motherhood. And I would ask our women to please come forward.